What's good, everybody? Welcome into the Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all of sports betting, and it is not close. Another very busy day at the brand. But before we look forward, as always, we must look back. Last night, it was a fun night. Now, our morning show and afternoon show, really, really good. How about 3-0-1 BYU? 14-7 at the end of the first quarter last night, but everything else hit. And then Dolphins-Bengals, our live stream last night, we hit a few props. Mine went to the X with one catch. Thank you, Mike Gesicki. What are you doing? But Jamar Chase, thank goodness, because Mikey may have had to sell his penthouse apartment if that didn't come in, but thank goodness it did. But this is one of my favorite mornings of the entire week because of the superstars that I have at my disposal. Let's bring them in right now. And you know them. You love them. Look at these three megastars. Let's start. Bottom left. He is the man in the Early Edge universe that has energy that is unmatched. Ladies and gentlemen, you can see him on Wednesdays. You can see him on Fridays. He is Chip Patterson. Chip, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Emery. Good morning, AB. We got Hurricane Ian bearing down on the Carolinas. We got the whole family home. School's canceled, which means it's in for a wet weekend of winners. Triple dubs, baby. Wet weekend of winners starts today on the Early Edge.
What did I just say? Now, up next, he is from everywhere in football that you don't want to be. Last week, he said Jackson State, lay it. And what happened? We cashed it again. It doesn't matter the league, the level, the sport. Let's go. Emery Hunt, welcome back to the show.
Always glad to be on a Friday morning. Like Chip said, it's a wet weekend, which means a lot of these football games will be very close, high scoring, and chaotic. So I'm here for it all.
It's a good thing everybody at home has you guys. And finally, he is our five-tool player. Last night, you got that interception. However, you did not get the right interception. You won, but then you lost a showdown. Big ups, AB. Big ups. You paid immediately.
Oh, absolutely. First off, man, good to see you guys. Second, we went 2 out of 3. We were one play away from being perfect, but that one play cost me $100. So shout out our man, Highway Ranger, in the chat. We were talking all throughout the game on Twitter how much of a sweat it was on Joe Burrow last night. Just a fun, super fun night. So shout out and make sure everybody come to the live show, Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. We do this every single time. It's a blast. Jump on in on it. Yeah, it's fun.
Hell, last week I think we gave away $400 on our live show. Just kind of decided to do it. Yeah, that's what we do on Early Edge Live. Mm-hmm. Hashtag it pays to watch. All right, let's get into it. Storylines that could affect your betting lines today. And I got to tell you, it's going to be a very busy weekend because soccer's coming back. You got baseball finishing up. So you got to keep that money management, that bankroll management really, really tight. So you got to listen to storylines in addition to just picks. So, Chip, start us off, please.
Come on down. Everybody come on down to Chip's Bargain Basement. Here at Chip's Bargain Basement this weekend, Friday night, one time only. Everything must go. Clearance, clearance, clearance. On our last chance to maybe fade a Houston team that looks like it might quit on Dana Holgorsen and a Boise State team that looks like it is checked out. I mean, Boise State called the front desk and they were like, quarterback, transfer portal, offensive coordinator fired. Like, this roster for 2 weeks has not looked good. And so, I'll let you know which of these two plays I feel the strongest about. But I think Houston is on very, very shaky ground. I think that Boise State's on very shaky ground. And eventually the number and the market will catch up. So everything must go. Friday night, last chance to fade.
Oh, man, and we have like 4 or 5 games tonight. I think last week, didn't we, AB, cash the Boise State team total under last week?
And Virginia, courtesy of Chip.
Team total over. Under.
Yeah. Under. There you go. By the way, somebody in the chat saying I need to step my game up. I'm looking swole. I've got one of my shirts on. It says the coach. I mean, I don't know what else you guys want me to do. I mean, golly, I just. But anyway, thank you, Chip, very much for that storyline. All right, now up next, AB, the NFL. This show is called The Early Edge for a reason. We try to beat the number. Now in New England, we know that Mac Jones is out, but who's going to be in?
Yep, you're looking at Brian Hoyer here. And you know what? We dug through the numbers all last night, all this morning. And here's what you need to know. Brian Hoyer has lost 11 straight starts. Now, we all assume, even if the Patriots had Mac Jones in, they were probably going to lose to the Packers. But here's the info that you need to know in terms of betting the game and also betting props, both with Hoyer and with the Patriots and the Packers defense. In those 11 straight losses in starts, Brian Hoyer's teams average 16.7 points per game. It's actually very consistent. So what you get is generally 2 touchdowns, and you're betting on will you get a field goal there. Yeah, take a look. A lot of money to be made on unders on the Patriots this weekend.
And we will be breaking down every single game on Sunday at noon Eastern time leading up to the 1 o'clock games. But if you can beat the number, beat the number. Teresa, I see you, girl, in the chat. Thank you. I think I'm looking pretty good myself.
Also, Coach, may I add one thing?
Yes.
An additional Friday Chick-fil-A nugget. When you see the Ravens and the Bills play against each other this weekend, understand Lamar Jackson is the most pressured, blitzed quarterback in the NFL, almost 49% of dropbacks, going up against a Bills defense that is the lowest rate in terms of bringing blitzes this season. They try to get at you with just 4. Yeah, pay attention. Lamar Jackson could go off this weekend.
Oh, that is quite the Chick-fil-A nugget that you will not get on Sundays because it's closed. See, you got to get it on Fridays.
Well,
all right, now. That's true. All right, now it's time for our board. You guys wait for it all week for my boys to come back to get you set for the college football weekend that starts on Friday night. But they're expensive. They make a lot of money, so we got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners. And we are back. All right, everybody watching on YouTube, listening on Apple, listening on Spotify, here we go. One play from SportsLine itself. And if you're not a SportsLine member at this point, I don't know what else to tell you. It's the best value in sports betting. It's $10, but I'm going to do all of you doubters a solid. Use a promo code EARLY, and I'll give you 30 days for free. Your baseball, soccer, World Cup is coming, football, you get it all the cappers. Everybody you see on the screen today, you get them at SportsLine. Braves at home against the Mets. They have been pretty average lately. I'm talking about the Mets, so we're going to go with the Braves. Actually a slight underdog because Jacob deGrom is on the bump. But Mr. Fried, he's no slouch, and the Braves really need this. This is the most important weekend series of the entire season. We'll take the Braves plus 105. Now, where do I start when I've got 3 absolute legends at my disposal? Well, you start solid and you end solid. And you got a little something in between. So, Emery Hunt, sir, last week, you absolutely killed it. You got that, AB? So, you started off solid. So, I would love for you to do it again. Emery Hunt, the floor is yours.
Well, I appreciate that. And again, because we have a great slate on Friday night in college football, I thought I'd start there for you guys. We talk about the overs. I do like UTSA, Middle Tennessee going over that number. UTSA has played probably more football than anybody because they've gone into 2 overtime games. So expect these numbers right here to go over there. 64? That's going to go over. UNLV is playing some of his best ball under Marcus Arroyo, who has his best team since he's been in Vegas. They get a Friday night tilt against New Mexico, who hasn't found the end zone yet. They didn't score last week against LSU, 38-0. They probably won't score here against UNLV. So I feel comfortable laying this 14.5. And money line play here, San Diego State taking care of all of that chaos that's going on in Boise. They travel to Boise to take on the Broncos. Quarterback change, coach getting fired, chaos. Aztecs come in with a very good offensive line, very good front 7. They'll slowly choke out Boise State and win that one straight up. Now, Saturday, and here's where you make a lot of money. FCS games, and I have to give you the backdrop. I was on the broadcast for Fordham and Monmouth. Over 1,400 yards of total offense. Right now, quarterback Tim DeMorat has 22 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, over 68% completion percentage. They average, Fordham does, 45 points a game. Here's the kicker. They also give up 45 points a game. So Georgetown, with their quartet of wide receivers, Josh Tomas outstanding, Cam Creighton is outstanding. They're going to find the end zone. For Fordham, Fotis Kokosoulas had 300 yards receiving last week and 4 touchdowns on 13 receptions. The number is set at 70.5. Go over that number. Also, you have Holy Cross and Harvard. And here's what I know about this matchup. Harvard has won the last 3 games. They've averaged 30 points in those 3 games. Holy Cross comes into this matchup, the 6th ranked team in the FCS. Harvard is coming in undefeated, fresh legs, because the Ivy League starts 2 weeks after everybody else. This number is set at 47. Go over that number as well, too. So I love the overs in the FCS this weekend. A lot of points are, in the words of our esteemed U.S. poet, Birdman, punts will be scored. And when you match up all these parlays, again, if you win on this parlay, I told you last week I'll get a steamboat. This week, I'm going to get a driveway so long that when you ring my doorbell, I'm going to come down and moose back. Riding down on the moose back and have you walk up the mile hill. Trust me, on these parlays, they're all going to hit, just like I said last week.
I got to tell you, I did not expect to get Birdman, Holy Cross, and Georgetown football all into the show at one time. And by the way, many of you tweeted at me last week saying, Coach, where do I find the FCS games that Emery gave me? Most books have hit the NCAA tab, and they all drop down. So you got FBS, then it should say FCS. Most books are that way. So they're there, just not under the Division I games. Just go down a little bit.
And they start on Saturday. Like right now, you'll see the Penn Dartmouth game on Caesars. But on Saturday morning, I think all, WinBet, Caesars, all these places will have full FCS games on Saturday. So you got to wait a little bit.
Right.
They'll be there for you, and you'll be able to lock them in.
Do what I do. I write down all the games and the start time to my right, and then put a reminder every hour. Just go look at the games for that hour. It takes a little bit of work. Most of you want us to do the work for you. You got to do a little work on your own. Emery, thank you very much. Now, Emery brings it strong, and I know Chip is going to bring it strong. And then I looked at all the picks that AB had for – oh. I guess you won't take too long today, AB. You're up.
Oh, I'm going to take a whole long time. And look, shout out to Birdman. That's my shout out for him right there. No, all right. So what? We've got one game tonight that we're going to play, and shout out to Middle Tennessee State for inviting us to come out to the game tonight. UTSA at Middle Tennessee State. We're taking the Roadrunners -4.5. Dude, Emery just broke it down. This team has played bona fides this year. Texas, Houston, all right, Army. And they've been in every single one of these games. They've got into overtime twice. This team is legit. Middle Tennessee coming off a big win at Miami last weekend, but I don't think that they're going to be able to hang with the Road Runners tonight. Now, they are retiring Kevin Byard's jersey there in Murfreesboro. It's going to be a cool atmosphere for him and a cool atmosphere for the fans. That being said, UTSA, they're too much. They could come at you in waves. I think they're going to do it tonight. Also, if you're going to be in Murfreesboro, beautiful Murfreesboro, Tennessee tonight, we'll be at Slick Pig before the game, and we'll be at Jim's after the game. We'll see you there.
Wait a second. So SportsLine got invited to Middle Tennessee State. We're sending you to represent us.
And then he's going to Jim's after the game.
Yeah.
Well,
You picked against them. Like you picked against them.
Oh, hey, you know what? Business is business.
All of a sudden, AB's got a little text. You are now no longer invited to Murfreesboro.
You could go to Jim's the entire game.
Yeah, we don't need you to come back and forth. All right, AB, you're the man. All right, now we know the Maestro spot is coveted, not just when the Maestro's here, but every day. Every day. And Fridays, my man Chip has it locked and loaded. So, Chip Patterson, allow me to get out of the way. You're up.
Let's begin on Friday night where, like I mentioned, this might be our last chance to be jumping on the other side of Boise State. I mean, Emery is coming out here and telling you to take the money line. I love that play. I'll just take the 6. I'll just go with the 6. I'll just dip my toe in. But I think San Diego State +6 is a total lock. Boise State, absolute tire fire. Now let's go on to a line that's moving in the opposite direction. And I think that people are being misled. They're trying to make UCLA and Chip Kelly something that it is not. They're trying to create this idea that the Bruins, who are undefeated, are going to be able to take down Washington in what, to be fair, is Washington's first true road game. But how much home field advantage do you put in your handicapping for the Rose Bowl and the 7,542 fans that are actually going to be in attendance for this game? And since the start of 2016, UCLA against top 15 opponents, 0-11. in the Chip Kelly era against top 15 opponents? 0-6. This thing got under a field goal. Are you kidding me? Kalen DeBoer, Michael Penix, this Washington offense is going to cook, and Washington gets us the win and the cover. Also, just an endorsement right now on that UTSA Middle Tennessee over. If you listened on Wednesday afternoon, I shouted out Emery, and I told him it was one of the favorite plays I've heard all week. So I'm just going to give my thumbs up to that one. I will also be following you right there. Turning my attention to Saturday, talking about trends. Nick Saban in Alabama on the road since the start of last season, they can't cover big spreads. It has been a team where the home road splits are starting to become very, very troubling. We certainly saw it with Texas earlier this season. We saw it in the Florida game last season. We are starting to see an Alabama team that when it goes on the road just can't roll over teams, especially in conference play, quite like the team of 2018 or 2020. And so I love Arkansas plus the 17 right here. I think KJ Jefferson and Rocket Sanders are going to be able to get us enough points to stay within that number. And finally, we faded Virginia's offense on the team total last week here on the show. Now we're just going to fade all Virginia. We are going to take Duke minus the short number. Two first-time head coaches, Tony Elliott at Virginia, Mike Elko at Duke. And what right now, Virginia is falling short of those expectations. Duke is exceeding the preseason expectations. I think home field, good vibes. Blue Devils get the first ACC win of the Mike Elko era on Saturday night.
Speaking of good vibes, Kyle in the chat says Friday is my new fave crew. I don't blame you, Kyle. By the way, Chip, I live in Southern California, as you know. So I have all the local channels coming out of LA. Do you know how much coverage I watched last night of Washington and UCLA, the coveted Bruins out here in Southern California?
0 minutes.
0 minutes and 0 seconds. You don't even know they're playing tomorrow night here in Southern California. They're not even on the news. Nothing.
There will be more Washington fans there than UCLA fans.
Oh, for sure.
Yep.
For sure, right? For sure.
Yes.
100%. All right, quickly, I need to throw up the schedule that I forgot to do at the start of the show. Busy day at the brand. We moved on Fridays, early edge in 5 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. Then, of course, our prop spectacular. The guys have been killing it. Prop stars, Uncle Dave and Sia Najat at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And then our two big NFL shows on Sunday, noon Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. That's all in addition to our regular morning show. So grab your paper, grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. Chip Patterson, we will start there. San Diego State, he'll take the 6. Oh, minus 110. Then Washington on the road, minus 2.5. I wouldn't even be opposed. I may play the money line. Because I just think they're going to win this game just like Chip does. Arkansas will stay inside the number with Bama plus 17. Then Duke minus 2.5. Then AB just one play today. UTSA minus 4.5. I love having multiple games on a Friday night to play. Then Emery. A little bit of everything. That's why we have him here, to find things that you will never find. Fordham, Georgetown, over 70.5. I saw somebody in the chat said, hey, I can't see them at my book yet. Well, Emery just said it. Sometimes they don't show up till Saturday morning in the FCS. Holy Cross, Harvard, over 47. Just trust the process. Then UTSA, NTSU, over 64. That game's tonight. UNLV, minus 14.5. That game's tonight. San Diego State, money line, plus 215. That game is tonight. And then one play from SportsLine itself. We're going to go Braves at home, plus 105 over the New York Mets. These two teams battling it out for the division.
Coach, can I say one more thing?
Of course, AB. What do you got?
Well, one, I just wanted to interrupt your flow one good time today. Just start the weekend off right. But two, in the chat, Ballin, I see this right here, says time to move to Nashville, Coach. Let me say, one, I agree with that. But two, I know who this is. And this is a rather important person in the city of Nashville. So shout out to my man there. And yes, we agree on that one. Yep.
Well, all I've got to say is certain things talk. And if you want the coach to bless your city, and believe me, people know when I show up in your city, hey, let's talk. That's all I'm saying. Right, Chip? There ain't nothing that can't happen.
There is always a price.
There is always a price for the $1 million man. I love Ted DiBiase. Oh, man, I love Ted DiBiase. Oh, always a price. All right, what a good, fun show. Good start to the week. And don't forget, I keep teasing y'all, the construction is done. What we have ready to roll out to you is phenomenal. And think bigger. Think more Chip, more Emery, more AB. We've got it coming very, very, very soon. But in the meantime, there's only one thing left to do today, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window for my entire crew. Love them all. Emery, Chip, AB, Jake the Snake on the ones and the twos. I am the coach. Tell all your friends, come. The water's warm. It doesn't matter the day, the sport. We grind for you 7 days a week. Haven't missed a day since December of 2020 right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.